of the comeback corner. We talked about music, songs we love, songs we hated, songs that we definitely side eye. But for our first fandom file of the day, I want to shift the conversation just a bit. Today we're going to be talking about when standing stops being an interest and starts becoming an identity. Because loving an artist and supporting their work is a part of music culture. It's a given. We should, but it should not become your life's work. But sometimes in fandom spaces, especially online, the love can turn into something deeper where it stops being about music and starts feeling personal. So that's our first fandom file. When sending becomes an identity instead of interest. My question to the seconds before I get Trend's take on it: do you think social media made fandom attachment stronger, or is it just more visible because now we can see it?
Mm. To answer that question, I think that social media definitely has played a huge part in the standing culture because we are constantly consuming content all the time. That at one point we didn't have this much access to this much content because we definitely had to rely on like music shows, MTV, E Entertainment. Like we had to buy subscriptions to magazines and wait for magazines to come out to hear stuff. We heard things through the grapevine and then we had to go online and search it up and stuff. So there was a lot more research that had to go into being a stan um, of a group. So I definitely think social media has played like a huge, huge part. I also think that coming from us and our generations, as far as being fangirls, I don't think that there was this level of fangirling in the gens before us, like boomers and stuff like that. I don't think that this was that level of fangirling then. And because we are going now from being young girls to older women, we are able now to, of course, it's more visible and we're able to call stuff out more. Like, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. So I think that also plays a part of too. Like, it's more, we're also older so
Mm-hmm.
we can kind of call things out. But on the subject of when standing becomes identity instead of interest, I think that has a lot to do with you as a person rather than just being an overall statement. Because we talked about this last week about how there's a lot of things and layers underneath the surface of us individually that play a part in how much we give to these fandoms, these celebrities, these artists, and what we're lacking. Like, okay, take for instance, we talked last week about the lady who literally put her entire family in debt over K-pop. And that is when it goes from being an interest where, you buying a couple albums here and there. Um, then to now you ain't paid your bills, your house is in turmoil, y'all ain't got no food because you done spent all y'all money on these artists. You know what I mean? And it's comes becomes a part of your identity because you don't have one. I
Mm.
have an identity. So GOT7 will never take over me like that. I can love them with all my heart and soul. I can love Stray Kids with all my heart and soul. I can love AT. I can love Shiny. I can love Monster X. I can love Le Seraphim and For Eve and Jester and Time Time and all these other people with all my heart. But if tomorrow they decided not to do music no more, I'm still gonna be Trinity at the end of the day. I'm still
Right.
Trent. I'll find something else to fangirl about. I'll find something else to do. Like you're not the end all be all for me because I was somebody before I got into K-pop. I'll be somebody after. Now, have you enhanced my life, helped it, catered to areas of my life where I felt like maybe I wasn't the fullest of myself? I'll say that. Yes, maybe you helped cater to parts of myself that didn't feel as full, but I am still me at the end of the day and I still have an
Mm.
identity. I think this has more to do with people who get into these fandoms, whichever one for whomever, because you are lacking something substantial within yourself and you don't have an identity anymore outside of this. So you need a place to belong. You need a place to attach to. You don't have community. You feel out of place in your home, however, whatever. So there's a lot of layers to this for sure. So that's just my take.
I like how you said that because I was also on the same thought process because a lot of the women that we come in contact, myself, You've talked about it briefly, how this world kind of helped pull us out. And I
Hmm.
always say that K-pop opened my eyes, but it didn't save me,
Period.
right? And when you get into something and it's literally the air you breathe and you can't learn to breathe by yourself, that's when we, like you said, that's where it's a problem because,
Hmm.
like, no bueno.
Right.
Like,
And it's not parasocial at that point. I think it's you
something
truly don't
deeper.
have it's something deeper. You don't have a true identity to yourself. And so you've attached yourself to something to have that sense of belonging, that sense of purpose, and you don't feel you could be anything without it. It's a deeper layer than just having an imaginary relationship. Because I mean, hell, let's be for real. All of us have imaginary relationships with our faves. Let's
Hmm.
just keep it a buck and be honest
Yeah,
about it. We all do. But it's
definitely.
the deeper level of what are you missing inside of yourself? Where do you feel like you don't have any place in this world other than to attach yourself to this group, this person, this ideal, this thought? What is that? Because
When do
that's
you
a
clock
deeper
out of
level.
it?
Yeah, when do
When do
you
you
clock
clock
out?
out of it?
Yeah.
And, like, I tell my kids all the time with their phones, when you're spending so much time in your phones, you don't have any sense of reality.
Hmm.
So I'm like, we do a thing in my house at 7 p.m. I don't care if you talking to God off the phone because you need to know how to communicate with real people.
Right, correct.
And if you're so in your head in this world, how do you function in the real world?
Hmm. You don't. You're losing touch with reality. But mind you, let me take that a step further. Most of them wasn't interacting with the world to begin with. Because anybody that knows how to interact with the world, you could be a K-pop fan all day long. You could buy all the albums. You could go to every pop-up shop. You could go to every concert. You still know how to operate in the real world. They weren't doing it to begin with because there is something missing. As much as I sit on my Discord 24/7 with my girls, and as much as I talk to you 24/7 about K-pop, and we have turned this into a full business. I
Yeah.
literally do this day in and day out from the time I get up to the time I go to bed, multiple times a week, multiple times a day, multiple times an hour.
Hmm.
K-pop, 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 all the time.
Yeah.
I still know how to have a regular conversation. I literally got up the other day and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go walk around in TJ Maxx. And the girls were like, why are you trying to spend money before we go to South Korea? I was like, no, 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 that's not what I said. I am a true confessions of a shopaholic. I just like going looking at stuff. Mind you, I will put stuff in my cart, walk around 50 times, and then put stuff back. I just like the feel of shopping. It has
Bro,
always made me
what?
happy. I know how to leave my house. My
Yeah.
albums and stuff will be here when I get back. I ain't gotta be here all. I know where y'all at. Y'all good, but that's because I am cool with just me. I'm
Yeah.
cool with trends. Now, mind you, has K-pop enhanced a lot of areas of my life? Like I said, yes, 100%. But it is not my end all be all. For a lot of these people, it's they end all be all because they didn't have anything before they got in it. They had nothing, and this has been their only place where they have felt belonged. I think we are very lax when we hear people say, this is giving me a sense of belonging. I don't say that. I don't say that. I'll say it gave me community. It gave
Hmm.
me people that are genuine, but I'll never say I feel like I finally belong. I don't play them games. I feel like God would strike me down. It did what? It did what? I don't even play with God like that. I don't play with myself like that. I was a social
Right.
butterfly before I got here. I'll be one tomorrow if K-pop were to ever leave. So that's how I feel on that.
I love your
Any more
thought.
thoughts? Thank you. Thank you. I think the mutual consensus was with the Seckies as well. But they
Yeah.
definitely said that they think it's a little bit of both. The level of access that we have and the level of visibility we have is definitely heightening it. Also, we live in a digital age. This is not the same digital age it was when I had J14 and Teen Beat magazine, baby.
This is not your grandma's
Let me tell
internet.
you something. Back in the day when I had J14 and Tiger Beat Teen Beat magazine, Look, I had the
And we
internet,
had
but
to
it wasn't
wait
like
till
this.
6 o'clock, 5:30 to see
Yep,
our faves. We
sure
can't just
did.
go online and find them.
BET 106 in Park had to wait, and if you missed it, you missed it. If you
Hmm.
missed it, you missed it. You had to wait till next week. Like there was definitely a time where it was sink or swim, do or die when it came to your face. You had to be paying attention. You had to be in the room where it was happening, or it didn't happen at all. Like
Definitely not
this is a
happening.
digital age. If I miss something, I can just go back and watch it 50 times, or I can literally download it and save it to my phone
And watch it later.
and watch it 50 times later. Couldn't do that back in the day. And then also, if somebody was on Entertainment TV or MTV or whatever, and you missed the
The
episode,
interview.
oh well,
Oh
you better
well.
go online see if you can find a couple of sites or something.
Or
It's not
see
like
if they
TikTok where
what is it?
somebody's got videos uploaded. Because there was also a time where YouTube wasn't what it was.
Hmm.
And everything wasn't being uploaded to YouTube like it is now. You can easily go on YouTube and use it as another source. It wasn't always like that. I remember when it wasn't like that.
Or you had to go on Reddit and pray the person who made the post on Reddit didn't get
Yep.
anything wrong. And it's just
Yep.
like, yo, what happened here? This doesn't even sound like a real conversation.
Yeah.
Listen, a time. The
Yeah.
fact that
So
I've lived
it
through all of this.
I
Or
know.
I used to listen to me when I say me and my granddaddy had the biggest beef in life because my grandfather would always record the freaking football games. And if I knew I wasn't going to be home, I would try to record my show on top of the football games. And just to be spiteful, he would just record like the most random thing, like Wheel of Fortune on top of it. I'm like, yo, oh
Mind
man,
you, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to remember how did I get the tea on everything? Because I knew all the Disney tea because I was a Disney Channel girl. I knew all my Disney tea, but I don't know. I can't even remember now how I used to get all the tea. Like I used to read my magazines for real, but knowing the ins and outs and the intimacies of
the
like
little
who was
chat
with
rooms. Did you
who,
have like the
yeah,
AOL chat rooms with the for this person?
no,
A time was
mm-mm,
had there too.
no.
I
I
was in
think
the
I also
B2K
just
chat
had
rooms
people that
and
I knew
seeing.
were in those rooms, and they would come back and tell me. And then like also I was just always paying attention. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I know y'all go together. Don't lie to me. Yeah, I like that one.
Alrighty. At the end of the day, loving an artist is normal. Music has always been built on community and connection. The key is making sure that music adds to who you are and not define you. You can love your faves, stream the songs, go to the concert, but please don't lose yourself in the process. Now, speaking of fandom and the role that we play, let's move on to our next fandom files. Why do companies rely heavily on fan labor? Like, why they got us working for free? Because if we're honest, fans aren't just listening to music anymore. Sometimes, most of the time, we're marketing. We're the marketing team too. Before we get into it, because at this point, I'm about to sue the whole K-pop industry because I've been working double time, overtime, and I have nothing to show for it. But Seckies, do you think companies intentionally rely on fan labor, or does it just happen naturally?
I think it's intentional, which is why they allow these K-pop artists to be bogged down by sasaengs. And they tell them, oh well, you just have to put up with it. Because mind you, I'm not putting up with nothing. I don't have to. I said
Right.
it all the time. That's why there ain't no black K-pop artists like that. Because we're not going for that. Get that phone out my face. Get the hell out my way. Leave me alone. You're not going to tell me what to do. And the reason they can say that is because they really not relying. Well, and I'm thinking about Western artists. The reason Western artists can say that more than anyone else because Beyonce not relying on us. Beyonce know her music hit. Whether you listen to it or not, it's gonna sell. And then I got 50 other things I'm doing. I technically Rihanna was able to walk away from the music industry successfully. Rihanna's still highly successful without having dropped a song in the last 30 years and working on her eighth baby. Like, she don't need us. She don't need this. She done did everything she big and bad enough to do and loving and living her life and still relevant, still successful, still got money.
Hmm.
The reason they cannot afford to make those sorts of statements, decisions, anything like that, is because their companies know they rely on the fans to do the brunt of the work. They rely on us, which is also why they let a lot of us, and I don't mean us, I mean fan us, the fans, to be able to do, say, treat these artists any way they feel like it. And then tell them, oh, you just got to suck it up. You just got to take it. They actually don't have to take it. They don't have to take none of that, to be honest. But they've so heavily relied on the fans to pull so much weight in promoting, marketing, branding. I learned this when I was in college. The word of mouth will always be the strongest marketing tool we have as a society. Word of mouth will get you in rooms faster than a degree. They will get you in front of people faster than a degree. They will sell faster than a degree. And that is why so many people can and are successful that ain't never went to school a day in their life. Because
Hmm.
word of mouth, wit, charisma, integrity, ambition will always outweigh a piece of paper. Not saying it's not important, but it's that grit, that grind. It'll always do it. And when people are interested, people lock into it. Word of mouth will always do it. That's why photo cards are so popular now. Look at this card. Oh, it's so great. You got to buy 50 albums to get this one little card. We done bought 50 albums for the one card. Mind you, ain't no new songs on the album. Hell yeah, they relying on us. They ain't even gave me no bonus track, no nothing. I got the same CD, four different versions with a couple different photo concepts of the same CD.
Yeah.
And they know I'm going to eat it up. I'm not going to even blink twice about it. They know we're going to get on Twitter and take whatever movement they start in, and we're going to hashtag the hell out of it, and it's going to spread global worldwide. They know that the fans are going to take on whatever project in honor of their groups and turn it into a full mission, and then give money, donate, give time, give effort. Yeah, hell yes, they rely on fan labor. Yes, absolutely.
I think it's I think it's lazy on the marketing and the company's part because sometimes a whole project can take on a different life because the fans are the one who are pushing it. And it could
Yeah,
go to the left of what the artist and the team originally intended
of
because
course. Yes.
we got just regular people out here being the marketing team for you.
Literally.
Feet on the ground. Like just like how I remember when I was younger when promotions and stuff would come to my area, kids would just be passing out flyers, and they would be going through the street singing the song. And so many songs to this day I sing wrong because of these kids. Because they weren't singing the right lyrics. To this day, I'm singing these people's songs wrong
Oh,
because
I'm
the
good for
kids
getting the lyrics
literally
wrong.
in my ear all through the city the week of promoting these people's concerts.
Hmm.
Um, when it comes to K-pop, I remember when I first got into BTS, um, they did not have the translation on
Mm.
there. It would, and even now that they do have it, it's still terrible how to get it together. Um, we rely heavily on army translators.
Yes,
And when I say they could be in an hour interview, within 15, 20 minutes of that interview being done, we had the English transcript. And it's
100%.
just like, why aren't they getting paid?
Hmm. I knew
They're doing
exactly where you were
so
going with this.
much.
Yes. I was reading an article not too long ago because I was looking up army stuff because we were talking about a good bit to do with BTS. We done talked about BTS a good bit, but I was reading an article for whatever reason I fall down a rabbit hole. I'll read anything. And it was basically talking about this group, which is like three or four people, and they have been translators for army since debut. And they're still translating for army till this day. And they talked about like the good and the bad of being in this industry so heavy for so long, um unpaid. These are regular everyday people who are just fans of the group and want to make sure that the other fans, army, are able to understand what's going on. And they were talking about how much they love it and how people have, sent them baskets and praised them and followed them and supported them and stood up for them and given to them. But then they talk about the other side where you get one thing wrong and they're trying to cancel you. They're telling you you don't know what you're doing. And then if you take your sweet time or if something happens, then it's like, where's our translation? Where's our translation? And they're always on and they can never be off. They were like, especially during the height of BTS, when BTS
Mm-hmm.
was out all the time. They were like, the only break we got was when they went to the military, truthfully. And I'm thinking, how sad
Yeah.
is that? But
It's
again,
crazy.
unpaid. And mind you, just speaking from the aspect of K-pop content creators, I've talked about this before. The idea of being a content creator and a regular Joe Blow, because I am a regular Joe Blow, I think I'm great and special, but regular Joe Blow at the end of the day, we are entering a very interesting era when it comes to branding and marketing because this is the first time in my knowledge, especially with social media, that anybody can become famous for just about anything and really become famous and well known just for talking about anything because now you're gaining a following. It used to be like every now and then somebody would pop up out the woodworks getting
Mm-hmm.
famous for something, a YouTube streamer, because everybody that was streaming on YouTube wasn't getting famous.
Right.
Everybody wasn't doing it. Everybody wasn't getting famous. And also, it was taking a lot longer than overnight. People would be on YouTube for years, decades before they were ever seen as somebody notable or trustworthy. And now you've got content creators that literally dedicate all of their free will and time to literally promoting, branding, marketing, spreading word of mouth, networking, and all these other things for literal celebrities, groups, companies, products. This is unseen territory. So although although they're gonna have to figure out a better way to navigate it, they're gonna need to do something because mind you, it was so funny. We are having this conversation. So for those of you who follow Caitlin Benson, she's amazing. She's a black K-pop content creator. She's been doing this
Mm-hmm.
thing for a long time. She was gifted a PR package from ATEEZ. She's been an ATEEZ fan since debut. She's been reacting to ATEEZ videos since the very beginning of her journey. Love that for her. And so many people have loved that for her because if anybody follows Caitlyn, you know that that girl has been through something when it comes to people that have followed her and treated her ugly and nasty and basically tried to bully her off the internet. On the other hand, I started seeing other K-pop content creators, and this is not them digging at her or anything. I don't want that mistranslated in any way. This just goes to prove my point. They were like, "Well, how do I get on the list?" And the reason I understand them asking is because they are also dedicating all of their time, energy, free will to talking about these groups, marketing these groups, promoting their products, promoting their songs, promoting their merch, literally day in and day out. And how do I know? I consume their content. I am also a part of that same content. Literally spend every day dedicating hours and hours and hours talking about these groups. And I'm not saying I need nobody to call me tomorrow and give me $1 million, but there is something to be said about you relying so heavily on fan labor, yet you turn a blind eye to it. Why? You're relying on me to do the brunt work for you, yet there's truly nothing in it for me. I'm not getting anything out of this. Not saying that you need to then go pick up every content creator and be like, okay, da da da. But let me just say this. There are brands, Western brands, who are getting hit to the whole influencer thing and they're doing it right. Look at all these beauty brands and companies that are literally picking influencers that they know are doing the brunt work for them and sending them on full retreats to do
I
nothing
was
but
just gonna.
market their products, but they're doing it together. They're sending them on retreats. It's all expenses paid. You're doing what you want. All you got to do is just do what you do every day and record the content. I'm
Mhm.
not telling nobody in K-pop what to do, but I am gonna tell them that they do need to get with the program because the brunt work is being done and has been being done for y'all for a long time.
I was literally gonna say that trend. I
Yeah.
feel like there is going to be a shift because I was in the beauty YouTube space before it got popular, following a lot of the bigger creators that are big now, who are multimillionaires because of the work that they've done throughout the years. And it's this space kind of reminds me of that. Those girls used to
Hmm.
be on their floors in their dorms in their mom and them house playing, watching
Yeah.
everything, and they were making these companies millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And then I think they just start like, you know what? I'm just gonna play with the makeup I already have. I'm not gonna go out and buy a new palette and be the first one to record it so they can get millions of dollars. And
Yeah.
I'm not seeing anything in return. I
Right.
really think the teams they not you already not spending money on marketing because you're depending on us. Why not use the small budget you do have and give it to the people who are actually doing the work? Because like we were talking about the translations, if there were not fans translating, I don't feel like the push to the West would have been as big.
It wouldn't have happened,
Because
period. We
I
can't
love
understand it. We can't
we
read it. We love K-pop. We support
mhm,
K-pop. We're not asking y'all to translate everything that y'all sing right in English. Matter of fact, I wish some of y'all would start singing in Korean again.
please
That's
do.
my hot take. I'll talk about that more later. But I don't need y'all to do that. But however, when you are marketing to us, you are going to need to know some English. I'm going to need to know what y'all talking about. And so if it wasn't for these translators, baby, what West?
Because
What West?
your whole marketing ploy is you want us to be parasocial. How can we be parasocial if we don't
I
know
don't
what they're
understand what you're saying.
saying?
100%.
I can't just be laughing because they're laughing. I can't just be crying because they're crying. Why are they
Ah.
crying?
No, literally. And what's so funny? I want to get the joke.
Jen even said, I remember this carpool karaoke. He was like, every time they laugh, we're gonna laugh because it was RM and the host talking, and they kept laughing. They were like, what's so funny? We want to know too. They just start laughing. Every time RM
Hmm.
would laugh, they would just start laughing. I was like, they so stupid. But that's how I feel sometimes.
Hmm. And it do get lost in translation when you don't know. I think about Kehoe when he was like, I don't think my members know how funny I am really because my jokes hit better in English.
That poor man.
And I'm like, yeah, I can see that because the way you would have to structure the joke in Korean might not hit the same as if it was in English.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I don't want to get lost in translation. I want to get it so that then I'm more invested because I understand. I get it. Yeah,
Yeah.
if it wasn't for the translators,
Cultural context, yes. I also hate because some of these people and Hive, I am on y'all next today. Hive. When the boys go live, a lot of the time it's AI that's doing it for them now. They're so cheap they can't even get us a real translator in real time. Whatever. But the translations aren't correct. It's missing the cultural context and the nuance.
that
My
bothers me
favorite,
so bad.
like, yo, he literally just told this man he gonna lick his face. Why are you talking about he said he's gonna lick peanut butter? That doesn't even make sense right here.
That doesn't
Where's the
make sense.
peanut
There's
butter?
no peanut butter.
Where it's not in the room with us. He just told him, I'm gonna lick your face. And you're talking about licking peanut butter. He
Yes.
just said, your my gift to you is my body. And y'all talking about something else. That doesn't make sense.
He said he
That's
was gonna
not
give
what
him a
Jen
bunny
said.
rabbit. That's not what he
No,
said.
no.
That's not what he said.
It's crazy to me. And then you have to, again, like you said, these fan translators, they are on it. They are clocked in,
Yeah.
especially like Hot Boy on YouTube. Literally, they drop a live, it's up
Hmm.
within minutes of them going live because of, and he has the nuance, he has the cultural meanings, context clues, slang words. I know so many slang Korean cuss words because of this
Her.
man. All the bad words. All the bad words. But it's like, yo, come on, guys.
Yeah.
It's do better. Y'all just need to
Yeah.
start sending like, I don't know.
Or actually just pay attention. Like I said, I'm not asking nobody to shoot me no PR package tomorrow. It's okay. I honestly do this for the love of the sport. Now I do. We just like K-pop. We like talking about it.
Yeah.
We love the parallels of it with Black culture. We love speaking up for women. We love speaking up for mind you. Happy International Women's Day to everyone, especially our women's seckies. We love you guys. But we just do this for the love of the game because we love K-pop. But you could pay attention. And you know how I know you can pay attention? Because when they do get ready to roll them PR packages out, they know who to send them to. So you're actively paying attention. You're just picking and choosing when you're gonna do something. And then
Go ahead and say it. Usually I'm the one saying all the crazy stuff. Go ahead.
can I just say this? I did not like the AT's PR packages that they sent out.
I'd never seen one. What's in there?
It was an album,
Mm-hmm.
a CD player,
A CD
and
player?
yeah, a CD player,
Mm.
a CD player, the album, and then there was something else in there. I think there was something else in there. I didn't care for that. That didn't feel like no PR package to me. Now, if you want to send me a, it was in the album. I think the photo cards were in the album, but like no exclusive ones. Not the K-pop companies and the stores doing better at that than y'all. I ain't got no exclusive photo cards. Mind you, you're sending me a CD player. A CD player, mind you, it's retro. Love the idea around that, but like, I don't know, like, don't
The
a
album that we
poster.
already
The,
have.
the album that's already been out, yes, yes. Now, mind
Hmm.
you, this is what a PR package would have looked like from me. If I had been KQ sending something out to people who literally give all their time and money. I'm sorry, I would have went all out because I only saw a couple people get it. So you had the money to spend because you didn't send out 50. I would
Hmm.
have sent a vinyl. You would have gotten a vinyl. And you would have got one of the vinyls that had their faces on it, the kind that was in Target, because I thought those were gorgeous. You would have gotten an exclusive photo card. Exclusive photo card. You would have gotten a poster and you would have gotten a piece of merch. I don't know if it's a little mini light stick. I don't know if it's a water bottle. I don't know if it would have been a pair of glasses. I don't know if it would have been a little something that you could put a bumper sticker on your car to say shoot for the stars like NASA or something. Or maybe it's a little keychain that says Golden Hour Part 4 or a pin that says Golden Hour Part 4, something.
Did I get a
It
handwritten note from them?
a handwritten note, a piece of
Mm.
something. Yeah, Janaya, some signed merch. It don't gotta be this big thing that's extravagant, but it's gotta make me feel special. If you're giving away PR packages, I
Where's
wasn't
the
impressed.
relationship in this? This is just anything I can
Exactly.
buy from the store.
This is anything an exclusive hoodie or something. Thank you. I was not impressed. I wasn't impressed at all. It felt like you were throwing a dog a bone.
Mm.
Mind you, let me take a step back. If these packages had came out prior to the album releasing, you would have got something with me. You
Hmm.
would have got something with me. If these packages had came out before the album had been released and
Open
nobody
it,
had seen
golden
the albums
hour.
before, oh yes. Nobody had seen the albums before. Nobody knew what the CDs looked like. Nobody knew what the photo cards looked like. And then you also gave me a CD, and I'm able to record a video of me listening to it exclusively on a CD player.
That
Yeah,
would have
we
been
would have
cute.
had something then. We could have rocked with that. But you done sent this as the PR package after the album done been out for weeks, not just last week, for weeks. I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed. Not for nobody who doing this for free. For free. Mm-mm.
Maybe we should add that to our resume. We can help them. Cause like the open that
Hey, put
golden
me in the
hour, the
room.
like
Put me in
oh,
the
that'd be
room.
so cool. All right.
Literally, if you would have got that package and there would have been a vinyl in there, a handwritten note, or even a printed note, you don't even got a handwriting. I ain't even that picky.
Fake
You
handwriting
could
that's
have wrote
printed.
it, fake handwrite it. A collectible tin, a pen, a plushie, something that felt personal that you're giving someone. I don't care if I'm giving this to just, I don't care who it is. If you're giving something to somebody, it's got to feel personal. Especially if you are a company giving it to somebody that you don't really know like that, but you know that they are working overtime to promote your group for you.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm?
Mm.
Something. There was nothing you gave couldn't have been something that couldn't have been put in the box myself. Give me something that makes me feel like you appreciate the work I do for free. Don't play in my face like that. Glad to see that they did it, but again, could have been done better, in my opinion, as far as PR goes. But I'll get off that soapbox.
Mm.